Welcome back. You're still onto the economy today, and today we want to look at a very interesting topic. The 2023 elections have come and gone, and a president has been announced, though the inaugurations is just some few weeks away. But very soon we'll have the inaugurations. Now, Nigeria has been battling a lot of economic challenges based on what the ordinary man sees on the streets. But today we want to ask questions based on the fact that this new president coming in, people are having high hopes that when he comes in, a lot of things will change economically. Today I'm in the office of the Senator Anthony Adefuye, to ask him some questions pertaining on this. Good day, sir.
Good day.
Yes, sir. Sir, first of all, I want to say congratulations for a fruitful election.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So I want to ask now, the Nigerian economy, the way it is at present. Yes, a lot of people have said plenty of things, you know, whether good, bad, or whatever it is, they have said a lot of things. And then there is this aspiration, there is this new hope that is out there, that once this person comes in, this new administration comes in, that things will probably start changing for the better. We have had issues in security, our economy, you know, a lot of things, agriculture, and plenty other things. So what would you say concerning this new administration? What do you think would happen when this administration comes in? Do you think there is likely to be any form of direct change, you know, a drastic change economically?
Well, thank you. First of all, I want to say that we should all be grateful that we had Buhari as the president for the last 6 years or 8 years. He came on a rescue mission. The PDP actually vandalized Nigerian economy. Everything was bad, including security. If you remember, almost 48 local governments were in the control of insurgents in the north. And nobody ever attempted to battle them. It was Buhari who first fought insurgency in the northeast and reclaimed back all the local governments from insurgency. Before Buhari, there was no need to kidnap because they occupied the place. The insurgents occupied our land, occupied the territory. They were doing whatever they liked. I remember I had a close conversation with Goodluck Jonathan. I said, what are you going to do about this insurgency? Won't you do something? He said, excuse sir, are they not fighting themselves? That was the reply I got. So nobody ever attempted to fight insurgency. It was the one who came in and started fighting insurgency. Now if you look at our economy also, most of the contracts we have done, most of the road, the port was in shambles, and so on and so forth, including the second Niger Bridge, including Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The second Niger Bridge is completed. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is almost completed. This Buhari achieved. Now, when you come to electricity, before the PDP government left, they sold Nigerian electricity to about 5 or 6 people. They called them discos. Those discos came there, they have no idea of how to generate electricity. Some of them were not even engineers, and so on and so forth. All they did was to start selling the property of the former ECN or NEPA. You know, and we had no light. They didn't build one single additional power station. Not one was built. During the time of Buhari, and they signed such a useless contract that it was difficult
to remove them. Oh, because I was coming to that. Said, okay, if
it was difficult to remove them. The contract was so bad that it was difficult to remove them, and we suffered for it. We are still suffering for it now. In this place where I am, I pay about 50,000 naira every month. That is if I control my light, put up this air conditioner if I'm not using it, put it on, put it off, and so on and so forth. I pay about 250K every month here. And they are giving us light here because we could afford to pay for it. So they are buying the light also from another disco. So they don't give it to the area where they are paying low rates. You know, we don't pay the same rate. It depends on where you are, and that dictates your rate. So that's why most of those areas don't have light. They won't give them light, because they say that if they sell to them, they will not make too much profit. So it's not that we are not generating enough electricity, but they are not distributing them. Have you seen any country where that is done before? So I think the first thing he has to do is to get rid of these discos so that everybody can have power. Power, when you are in government, you must make power available for every citizen at an affordable price. At an affordable price, those things must be affordable. Now, if you remember, when Bola Tinubu was governor of Lagos State, he created a power station. Obasanjo dismantled it and took it over. Bola Tinubu is a very caring man. He was a very caring governor. If you remember at that time, he seized the funds. Obasanjo seized the funds for the local government in Lagos State. And he continued. And the people of Lagos State did not suffer, because I sincerely believe he will do the same thing for Nigeria. If you look at it very well, you will see that there is no election that we have done before that we have everybody, opposing only one candidate. Even though there were many candidates, for all of them, their target was Tinubu or the APC, because we were the ruling party. But God, in His infinite mercy, made him president. He had to face the punishment of having a Muslim as his running mate. They said it's Muslim ticket, and because of that, almost all Christians, churches, most especially the Pentecostal, the Catholic, everybody, they ganged up against him.
Sir, I will come back to you now. We'll go for a very short break, and I'll be right back, to continue this interesting interview. Welcome back. We're staying here discussing with Senator Anthony Adefuye. So, Senator, you were saying the last time, about the enemies the former governor of the state had, and you also think that he's going to bring in his expertise, when he comes to power eventually, when he's inaugurated. But then the question I want to ask right now is that let's leave him, a person, out of this equation. Let's look at the structure, how it is set up, how the federal government structure is set up, especially the legislative, how it is set up. Do you think it is something one man can actually handle all through, or is it a collective effort? Because building a nation or building things, it's not just one person that builds or brings the brick and all that, and a lot of people contribute in building a house.
Well, the president is just the figurehead. When it comes to ruling by presidency, there are two types of government. A democratic government, one by parliament, and the one they have a president who is not a member of parliament. He's just appointed. The one that is parliament, they call them prime minister, and they sit with the other elected fellows. But for presidency, the president is not a member of the house. He only sends his bills to the house, and then they discuss and do everything about it. However, you cannot become a member of the house if you are not a member of the party, either opposing party or elected party or whatever be the case. So the assembly represent the people, and for presidency we have two levels of assemblies. One, they call it the House of Representatives. One, they call it the Senate, or they call it the upper chamber, or the lower chamber, and the lower chamber, and so on and so forth. But really, it's just in the name. The power of the House of Reps is so massive, and most of the things must go through the House of Reps before it can be confirmed by the Senate. House of Reps is a representation of the population, and Senate is a representation of the states, which means 3 per state, and so on and so forth. So that you can see the power that is there. So these things must go through the House of Reps and then validated by the Senate. Sometimes they also the Senate generates whatever they want, but also they must sit together again to confirm whatever it is. So the president must open up to the people. He must be aware of what is going on. He must be aware of what the people want. The problem Buhari had was that he did not open up to the public. It was difficult to access. It was shielded most of the time. But
by the people who were around him,
who were around
himself.
Who were around him. But he was just lucky. He's a good man. Good people, whatever, no matter how much you shield them, you will still see that they are good people. Now, that will be the major difference. Adefuye will open his doors. He will know where it is painful, and he will know where it is palatable. So I would think that we should expect a very lucrative government by Adefuye. We should expect easier, good life, improved life for every Nigerian.
I want to ask this question. I
Yeah.
want to ask this question, sir. Now, you talked about like the systems of government. The president is up there. Then you have the legislative,
And
then the judiciary and all that. So you have the upper chamber, the lower chamber, and all that. Most of the times, what we heard was that the president passes a bill to them, and then sometimes the bill takes forever to be approved or to be sat with, and then until maybe the president stretches an arm of, say, gift to the party. Now, I'm not saying that happened. Now, this was what I heard. So do you think, there will be a better working environment for the rulership when it comes to such things, when it comes to passing all these bills?
No. The government will put before the assemblies a bill that governs the government. They can't spend money now unless they present the budget and they approve it. He can't spend a penny. But the House of Reps can generate bills. It doesn't have to come from the president. The Senate can generate bills. It doesn't have to come from the president. It's only
But shouldn't the president be aware of such bills being generated?
he must sign it before it becomes law. The president must sign all this before it after they have concluded, they will now send it to president for assent. If he doesn't sign it, it's no law. But they can, if the president refuses to sign, they can overrule him with 2/3 majority of both chambers. So that is simple. Now let's go back to the man Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's somebody who is kind-hearted, who is very hard-working, who wants that anything he touches becomes successful. Anything you can. Let me give you an example. The first time the Yoruba people presented a president was during the time of Chief Obafemi Awolowo. It was this same President Obasanjo who faulted it and make sure it becomes impossible. The next time was during the MKO. It was this same Obasanjo who faulted it and make it impossible. During the time of Adefuye Bola Tinubu, it was this same Obasanjo who first came out and they must stop the thing. It was impossible. He couldn't make it. So you can see the man is destined to rule.
Now, let's look at international...
Do you understand?
I do
you
understand.
Can see the man is destined to rule. No matter what everybody did, he still won.
But sir, thank God he won. But then let's look at our international corporations with Nigeria. We have heard a lot of things. We know Nigeria has good terms with a lot of countries outside, international relations. But then, looking at what is obtainable now in the country, the insecurity, the economy, shaky economy, and a lot of things, how do you think that can actually be totally leveled? And then Nigeria can say, look, we were discussing just now that do people take visas to some places and all that? Even some African countries, you don't need to take visa to some foreign countries. But Nigeria has been stopped in one way or the other from doing all those things. So how do we have a level playing ground when it comes to that?
You mentioned insecurity several times. I don't understand what you mean. Is it the Biafran agitation you are referring to?
No, we're talking about the headsmen, the Fulani
headsmen. Why don't you refer to the Biafran agitation?
It's the same thing, sir.
Were they not beheading people there?
They were. So what I'm trying to say is that how does all that thing get killed out? The Biafran agitation, the Boko Haram issue, the Niger Delta people who has always been there, and some other insurgents issues.
Look,
here and there.
All these things has narrowed down. It wasn't as it was in 2014. It was not as it was in 2014. In 2014, Boko Haram was in control of 14 local governments, as I told you. In 2014. In 2014, the Niger Delta was in kiosk. When Obasanjo took over, he had to take war there before the thing could stop. So all this has gone down. Insecurity in Nigeria has gone down. Don't let people outside Nigeria who are frustrated outside Nigeria begin to mislead you people that there is insecurity. There's nowhere in the world where there is no insecurity.
Yes.
Even in America recently, a young teenager went in and killed so many people. Nothing, for nothing. Even in Britain, it has happened. There's this that happened, that happened. So don't bring insecurity into Nigeria. I will not answer any question when you begin to say insecurity. This is how you deceive people outside to say that there's insecurity in Nigeria. If they kidnap one person and they capture him, that's insecurity. Don't they kidnap people in America? Don't they kidnap people in Britain? Don't they kidnap people in France? These are normal things that you find in every country. Why are you coming here to say insecurity, insecurity, insecurity? Now, we now discuss with you the man called Bola Tinubu, the way I believe. I think if wherever you are in Nigeria, the first thing is to wait and see what comes out of this government. There's nowhere that we don't have representatives in the House. Even in the East, who are saying Biafra, Biafra. They see presidential candidates, they see voted there. In the Boko Haram, they see all voted. So when you have some few people who turn themselves to agitators, does that turn into insecurity? Is this the first country where they're agitating? In Africa? This is not the first country where they're agitating in Africa. In fact, Nigeria is still the best so far when it comes to security. Nigeria is still the best when it comes to security. We still have the best army, we still have the best police, we still have all that. So don't use your mouth to call what is not ours here. Insecurity. The last time I was in Britain, I was talking to my children when they coming home. And they said, how about this insecurity in Nigeria? I said, did your mama or me send to you that there's insecurity in Nigeria? Or has anybody told you that anybody was kidnapped in our family? Or whatever it is. So stop spreading all this insecurity rumor. Let Nigerians come home and help Nigeria. Some of these people who are outside, they are eager to come home, but you deceive them when you say insecurity. It's like nobody can walk in the streets. Is that the situation here? Even when you go to Biafra, people still go to do their normal job. When you go to Borno, people still do their normal jobs. Maybe in 1 or 2 towns or villages. If you go to Benue, the fighting is always on land. So I don't like when people begin to say insecurity. There is no insecurity in Nigeria. We all enjoy Nigeria. Nigeria is a very peaceful country. All these things have gone down. Stop propagating what is not Nigeria. We are looking forward for a united Nigeria, for a better Nigeria, and we have a new president, and I pray that when he comes in, he will do the best for Nigeria. And that's what I hope.